All right. Should be up and running. Should be live. We'll be going over the market, going over today's plays, talking about what to expect going into tomorrow and next week. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 29th, 2021. Qs narrow bar today, up about 0.18 there, and then SPY almost 0.5%, 0.4 there, and then IWM up the most, 0.77. We talked about at the beginning of the week, will the IWM turn the corner? It definitely is trying to do so if it were to base here or make it to the next pivot up here around 226, what is that, 60, 226, 89. Up there, the next pullback would be playable. If we base from here, the next breakout would be playable. Okay, so we're no longer bearish on the IWM, neutral for now, while the Qs and SPY remain bullish. We talked about the line in the sand here from a couple days ago. That remains to be the point where we would lose the bullish bias on the Qs and SPY. You can see that we're not really in danger of breaking it for now, so we'll deal with that when that happens. But for now, okay, we'll still be bullish going into tomorrow. Now we still have big earnings up ahead. Amazon, I know, is coming up tonight. We got a bunch of energy names as well. X is also. So tomorrow we may get a small gap down or a small gap up just from the earnings names, but overall bias on the Qs. SPY is bullish and IWM is neutral. We'll see if the IWM is able to join the party here, the bullish party. All right, let's get into today's plays. All right. So, it was interesting today. We had a lot of gaps. I'll show you some of these gap downs. ANVS, really damaging gap. The NVCR, clearing the support as well. CLVT, BCOV, BCEL. Now, not all of them are earnings, okay? But we're getting a lot more impactful earnings gaps that what we got today. And so, it was interesting because we've had to be a little bit patient. I think the last week or so, as the number starts to pick up and the number of plays kind of slowly has been picking up. I do feel like today was definitely different and better. Okay. So we got a lot better gaps today. We'll go over some of the individual plays from these. Okay, but hopefully that's just a sign of the momentum continuing to build. Okay, that we'll start to get more and more plays, more and more opportunities. All right, and we can pick up the aggressiveness. Okay, because it was interesting today, even that right off the bat in the morning, there wasn't really that much either, even though we had all these really good gaps. And then it wasn't until I think it was about an hour or so. We'll take a look at these plays. I think 45 minutes to an hour or so. Then we started, all the patterns started to show up. Okay, so it's kind of been just a general slow burn into this earnings season, and then even today was a bit of the same. Okay, so let's go over some of these plays here. So the backs gap down, you can see clearing support here. Backs had a nice break here initially. So this is what I'm talking about. Notice how early on this couldn't seem to establish any kind of trend. Tried to go a little bit lower, went back up, and then finally started to base down here at the lows. Okay, so there was a break there. There was also just a smaller base here. Okay, that was good to do as well. And then we got an even longer base. Okay, and then looking for us to get back to this base here on the weekly. Okay, on the back. So we were able to get some out here at a first target right here actually. I said trail 1 minute bar by bar. I think we got trailed over 60, so it was like 61, 62. And then we brought the trail down to here, and we did get trailed out of this on the backs. So it was able to come back down and end up making new lows here. That's a pretty decent 15-minute base breakdown. We just didn't have any time left to get back in this thing. So that was fine. The backs got the target one, just wasn't able to stick with it until the end of the day because of that big move up, and the backs kind of was back and forth a lot today. And then BCOV, you're gonna see the same thing here. BCOV, you can see why in the morning it was kind of, there wasn't that much going on. So a lot of back and forth, and then finally started to pick a trend. Base down here, and then we got the base breakdown. Okay, on the BCOV. Okay, there is the the daily breaking the support. BCEL also this morning, okay, tried to go higher first. And so on these really bearish gaps, even though they're a little bit oversized, I'm not looking to play these long. I'm only looking to play these short because these are very bearish gaps. So I'm just going to let that move go until it proves that it wants to be weak again. And then once it came back to lows, another base breakdown. We also played this right at the end of the day, that drop there, because it was just staying, just couldn't get off the lows there, staying at the bottom. So there was a nice base right here, got a nice base breakdown, and then into the end of the day, just another little flush. Just was in it to see how much it wanted to go. And then based off the level 2, it was a nice setup there. Okay, on the BCEL, CLVT, really nice here. I know I'm going over a lot of shorts, so let me just show you also some of the other ones that worked higher. But I guess today you just ended up being a lot more focused on a lot of the short ideas. Even though we're bullish on the Qs and SPY, and then IWM trying to turn the corner here. But that's where I saw a lot of setups and a lot of follow through. In VCR as well. Again, not really picking a direction here. Kind of looked like it wanted to go higher, and then finally broke. And then if you were able to play the base breakdown, now this was pretty spready, so that's why I never ended up playing it, but pretty good follow through there. Okay. On the NVCR, ANVS as well. Once it got a sell setup and then another base at the lows, just kept grinding lower after that. Now TPX was one. There was a lot to watch this morning, surprisingly, even though there wasn't a lot to do. And this one I missed because it opened late. You can tell that it opened late because right here, right, there was no volume here. So it wasn't open yet. It didn't open till here. In which case, this as a base breakout was fine. I honestly don't even remember seeing it. Here was the daily, even though I did have this on a chart. So you can see it rallied up to 41, and 41 is actually where the base breakout comes, which is a good spot for this to do the base breakout. So, that's kind of normal for earnings season, is that you're going to have a lot of stuff, a lot of things. Some things you're going to miss. You just can't feel bad about it because, there's just a lot to look at, a lot to go after. You try to prioritize the best gaps. Definitely the BCEL and the BCOV were two of my favorites. And so that's why, these were definitely front and center, and then, just took a while for them to get the setups. But today I thought there was a lot of good gaps and a lot better follow through. It didn't seem that way starting off the day. But as we got into later in the morning, things started to get some follow through. So hopefully, maybe it was just we needed to get FOMC out of the way yesterday. Maybe some of the big names, also the name brand things just needed to report. And now, we'll start to get some of the other little bit more volatile, little bit more kind of trending plays going after yesterday. Okay, so we'll see. Expecting plenty for next week. Friday sometimes it's a little bit lighter because the Friday morning earnings list is usually small, just like the Monday morning one. But next week should be plenty busy. And I still think tomorrow we should have stuff to do. Okay, but overall, bullish Qs and SPY, IWM, neutral looking like it does want to eventually turn bullish again. So we'll keep a lookout for that. All right. Hope you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a good evening.